Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lori Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lori Gardner. Welcome back, ladies, to the 6-part series on growth, creating meaning in our lives. And this episode is about the silent danger of getting stuck as we age. You know, ladies, most of us don't wake up one day and decide, oh, we're just going to stop growing. We don't do that, right? It just kind of happens quietly, gradually, and comfortably. That's why I call it dangerous. Because stuck doesn't feel like failure. It feels like, it's okay, it's fine. So today, I'm talking about the silent danger of getting stuck and how to know if you're slowly shrinking your life, even if everything looks stable from the outside. So welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm Lori Gardner. I'm your nurse advocate, health wellness coach, and I am dedicated to helping all of us, and I'm on the journey with you all, ladies, having a fabulous aging journey. So like I referred to just now, getting stuck as we age rarely feels very dramatic. It kind of looks like same routines, same thinking, same identity, same comfort zone, same stories about yourself. Yeah, you're functioning, you're responsible, you're showing up, but you're not expanding. And humans are not designed to live in maintenance mode forever. Of course, there are times where we have to, but not forever. Maintenance mode is survival mode. And growth mode is meaning mode. And that's what we all, I believe, want. Don't we, ladies? And what happens to us when we stop growing, no matter what age, what circumstances? When we stop growing, we often experience increased fear of change, lower energy, more irritation or judgment, loss of curiosity, and feeling disconnected from purpose. This isn't because we are failing, ladies. It's because we are understimulating our brain, our identity, and our spirit. You know I'm all about mind, body, spirit. So it's a trio here that we have to deal with. But growth really does feed vitality. So I refer to something about the identity freeze. It's the biggest place women get stuck is in their identity. They start saying things to me like, I'm not the type of person who does X, Y, and Z. Or I'm too old to do ABC. Or I missed my chance. It's too late. So that's identity freezing. It's one of the fastest ways to shrink your life. Because the moment you believe you are done becoming, you stop allowing possibility. I don't think we want that, do we, ladies? But we could just make micro growth changes, and that can really help. You know, growth doesn't have to mean reinventing your whole life and doing, something anybody else is doing. Again, I always talk about intuition. Go inside. Feel what your inner divine self is telling you to be. It could be simply finding new strength goals. I've done that. You do some new learning, something new that you want to learn about. Some new spiritual practice. Could be a meditation. Could be deep breathing. Could be some interesting, spiritual books that prompt your mind to do something a little different. Could be new friendships. Could be new ways of expressing yourself. Communication is a big issue across all spectrums of life. But especially as we age, I think, because, things shift a little bit. If we don't know how to communicate our needs or communicate that people are starting to treat us old or whatever, but new ways of expressing, let's just change that up a little bit because these little micro growths can equal macro vitality. And we want more vitality, right, ladies? So because this is a 6-part series, I'm keeping these really short. I'm giving you a micro hit, a micro jumpstart to getting more growth and meaning in your life. And that leads to greater purpose. It also, I believe, leads to greater health and happiness. And so last week I talked a lot about our brains are not wired to stay put. They are wired for growth. So this week, just focus on thinking about where in your life you might be a little stuck. And where you're stuck, there's usually a little bit of fear going on. Fear of change, fear of being a little different than you've always been. What are people going to think? We don't care what people think, do we, ladies? No, no, no. We care about our inner power and our inner health, because that leads to everything outside. That will work great for you. So, let me know in the comments what one thing you're going to take a look at doing so that you can start a little bit of growth, just a little bit. And if you haven't checked out last week's, check it out, because it'll show you and hopefully inspire you to show why your brain really does want to grow. Sometimes I say to ladies when they come to me and they feel a little restless, the life looks perfect on the outside, but they're a little restless. They feel like something's kind of missing. They feel like they got more. Well, that's it. That's just their brain and their inner self saying, come on, you're made for more. Let's do more. Let's do something different. You've primed the pump. Your pump is ready to go. So just remember, you're not broken. None of us are broken. We're just getting inspired. We're shifting. We're pivoting. We're thinking. We're learning. So I am inviting you to grow during this 6-part series. And I think growth is how we stay alive. To life, to meaning, and to purpose. So I did put together a growth readiness checklist, because honestly, with coaching, I'm trained, I'm nationally board certified. We are trained not to tell people what to do, but to try to elicit what their voice, what their inner self would have them do, because then it's more effective for them. So in order to make change, you really have to be ready. Sometimes you just prepare to get ready, but you're not ready. And so I put together this little growth readiness checklist to think about. And the title of it is just to say to yourself, are you growing or are you just maintaining? So here's some signs of emotional growth, signs of emotional growth that you're ready to do it. You're open to changing old beliefs. You're curious about who you're becoming next. You feel excited by learning new things. You don't feel locked into your past identity. You're willing to open up and change. So it's really about being open and curious, isn't it, ladies? Then here are some signs if you are getting mentally ready to do this growth. You challenge your thinking regularly. You seek new perspectives. You let go of judgment. You allow yourself to change opinions. And you invest in learning and personal expansion. And ladies, this is a shameless plug. If you want to make changes, come work with me. Come do the Energy Reset course. I have a big Mind, Body, Spirit course. I have a women's wellness group I'm starting soon that we can actually all grow together. So just let me know what you are interested in. But it is all about growth. So what are some physical signs you're ready to grow? Well, you're actively working on improving your strength, your mobility, your health in general. You set some new body-based goals. You're assuming decline is not automatic. I always say aging is inevitable, and I don't mind aging. That's inevitable. But decline is optional, and I'm not doing that. So think about that. And you also start to see your body as adaptable, not just this trajectory of a downward slope, right? And there are spiritual and meaning signs that you can look at that says, I'm ready to grow. You might reflect on what kind of purpose and meaning you have in your life, and that might be your mustard seed to say, maybe I do want to do some more growth in this area. You feel connected to something bigger than yourself, so you know you were meant for more, and you want to contribute in a meaningful way. You might even be pulled towards evolution, not just stability. So this is kind of your growth checklist. And here are some signs that you might be a little stuck. You say, I'm just not that kind of person again, like I mentioned before. Or you avoid trying new things. You feel flat even when life is good. You feel like your best years are behind you. You feel disconnected from purpose and excitement. That's some signs that you're stuck. You can get out of this. I can help you get out of that. So let's give you, as we close up here, a growth commitment statement. See what resonates with you and grab it. I am allowed to keep evolving. Growth is not selfish. Growth is how I stay alive to my life. So with that, ladies, I hope this is in number 2 in the series, that you're starting to really feel that you have a lot to offer. Yourself first. It all starts with your own self-love and your capability to really honor yourself and take chances and move out there and forgive yourself if stuff doesn't work out. That's the huge thing. And then you keep moving forward, one little micro growth step at a time. So here's to your micro growth, which I believe with several little micro growths over time, you're going to become amazing. And that growth is going to open up, new possibilities are going to open up for you, and life can get better and better as we get older. Remember that old expression I still love? It's from many years ago. We're not getting older. We are getting better. So with that, ladies, I offer that to you. I support you in it. Let me know if I can help you in any way with it. And until the next time, keep letting that little lady grow and don't let the old lady in. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Don't Let the Old Lady In. Remember, age is just a number. Your mindset, energy, and passion are what truly define you. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Subscribe and leave a review so we can continue this journey together. You are strong, vibrant, and unstoppable. Until next time, keep living boldly, loving yourself fully, and most importantly, don't let the old lady in.